So after pulling out of the race for California governor, Eric Swalwell now says he will resign from Congress. In a statement, he said in part, "I am aware of efforts to bring in an immediate expulsion vote against me and other members. Expelling anyone in Congress without due process within days of an allegation being made is wrong. But it's also wrong for my constituents to have me distracted from my duties. Therefore, I plan to resign my seat in Congress." Now, Swalwell's announcement comes just hours after the House Ethics Committee launched a probe into sexual misconduct claims, with some in the media calling his alleged behavior an open secret. So how did California Democrats allow him to get this far in a run for governor? All right, let's go to the California Post opinion editor, Joel Pollak. I mean, everyone continues to say this. This was an open secret. Yet, he made it so far in the process, some are theorizing that it's because now you look at the polling and there's two Republicans at the top. So now they need to coalesce behind a Democrat. What do you think?
Eric Swalwell enjoyed the protection of Democratic Party leaders for many years, including then Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi, who promoted him to her inner circle of leadership. He served on the House Intelligence Committee. He was a House impeachment manager against President Donald Trump. He was very aggressive in going after Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh and others. And just weeks ago, he went after Kash Patel, the FBI director, over the Epstein files. Epstein and all these other scandals were vehicles for Swalwell to abuse his power. And it's rather humorous that he complains about the lack of due process, because his tenure in Congress was marked by denying the due process rights of other people. And the only reason he got away with it for so long was that Democratic Party leaders protected him. And because they protected him, the media protected him as well.
Yeah, here's a flashback to all of the Democrats and the media embracing him. Watch.
Do you get a lot of pushback from your party because of you talk so real? You really don't give a about what you say? You speak from the heart?
No.
Next guest is a popular member of the House. He's from the 14th District of California. He does battle daily with the forces of MAGA.
A prominent Trump antagonist, as well as a target of the president's retribution campaign. Well, he's throwing his hat into the crowded California governor's race. California Congressman Eric Swalwell promising to focus on affordability for Californians, while also vowing to continue fighting back against President Trump.
I mean, it's just nauseating.
You know, nobody took him seriously as a candidate in California. He's never run anything. He's never shown any particular competence in a managerial way. And he wasn't even really a resident of California. There's a challenge that comes not just from conservative opponents, but from Tom Steyer, one of his Democratic opponents in the race he now left, saying that he's just renting a room in a house on a street where no one's ever seen him before. He doesn't actually live in California anymore. He was never a good candidate. The reason he rose to the top among Democratic Party contenders for the governor's office is just because he went after Trump. And in that montage you just played, you see that he was embraced by Hollywood, by the media, simply because he went after Donald Trump. Trump derangement syndrome is not just a curse for the country, it's a curse within the Democratic Party, because it forces Democrats to turn off their minds, to overlook all of the other weaknesses. And even today, the California governor's race among Democrats is simply a contest about who can be the most anti-Trump. It's not about the issues facing the state. And that's why you see two Republicans at the top. And these two Republicans don't exactly get along, but they're leading the polls because voters are not hearing anything that distinguishes any of these Democratic Party candidates. All the Democrats are saying is how much they hate Trump, how hard they're going to fight Trump, they're going to sue Trump, just like Gavin Newsom is already doing. None of them is talking about the issues facing the state, the massive budget problems, the problems in the school system with an LA school strike narrowly averted just hours ago, and the problems with crime and water and high-speed rail wasting money and fraud. They're not talking about any of that. They're just talking about how much they're going to go after Trump. And Swalwell was the most anti-Trump of all of them.
I guess the question,
and that's why he rose to the top among Democrats.
Yeah, I guess the question is his share of votes, the people, the few that were supporting him, where is that going to go? So we're going to be following it. Joel, thanks so much. And for the latest news out of the Golden State, visit thecaliforniapost.com. All right.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.